Greetings. Hey, it's Susie Q here with Holistic Healing by Susie Juravich. I do the work of the Akashic Records, automatic writing, quantum healing hypnosis technique, and other ways of clearing, cleaning, and working with the subconscious mind. So today we're going to do three top hacks. So the first one is I would always say go ahead and do more water. I work at a chiropractic office, not kind of part time, and then I just noticed that I can tell that they're like they're drained. It's like they've got the blood and the life force energy is not there. And so I always ask, how are you doing with your water? And so this hack is super easy and super available for anybody. And I would say if you, let's just say you weigh 150 pounds, then you would do half of that. That'd be 75 ounces of water for your daily allotment. You can even do more water. So this water piece is so amazing because you start getting more invigorated and you start feeling more, alive in your body. So especially if people aren't really drinking water, they're doing different sodas and different things and coffee and all that, is that we notice that we need more water. So the first hack is drink more water, people. Just do it, right? Just drink up that water. Okay. The second one is moving into what we call sunshine. And so that vitamin D, some people don't have access to that because of the weather or different conditions. But if you can do this, right, is be outside. Take some time outside, or it could even be the moonlight. So I prefer the sun, the vitamin D through the sun, but we can also do that through the moon energies. But all of this light energy, that beautiful, juicy vitamin D is really helping a lot of people feel a little bit lighter in their body. And so I absolutely love, just kind of sharing a couple of these things. Drink a lot of water, do half of it, half of the ounces of the weight that you have, and just drink that water. Just drink it up. And then drink up the vitamin D, or it could be that moon energy as well. So all of those energies are super fun and super amazing. All right, so the next one, so that's the second one that we just did. So we had the water, and then we're working with the sunshine, being out in nature, being out in the elements, just feeling what you feel outside and just feel that goodness. So number three is going to be the big one. All right, so so this is the third hack. So when we start getting triggered by another person, I call it pivot with trigger. So pivot with a trigger. So when we start having somebody triggering us, and they're kind of antagonizing one another, or maybe I'm just sitting there like this, is I just start noticing that the very moment a person is affronting another person, saying something negative or derogatory or not needed, then I just stay completely, I'm seriously, completely quiet and in my own mindset. And this is how I process with things that are trigger points that may be attacking me. I'm just like kind of like going, okay, so I feel like they're trying to get me upset or get me triggered. Then what I start doing is I start going into my pulse, noticing my pulse. I start noticing my physiology. And even if a person is still like yakking about something, I have no idea what it is, I continue to process. Okay, so I feel light in my body, working with my pulse. I feel relaxed. Okay, so you could also do something like that. But I also like when people start triggering another person. I could go into color. So let's just say something has been, they've affronted me. They've done something, so bad, or make me look bad or something, but I go into color, or I could go into sensations as well. And so instead of like saying something, I go directly to usually an aqua or to a darker blue. And that's typically what I do, because I know that when a person is triggering, let's say somebody's triggering Susie, and they're saying blah, 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 and I'm just sitting there like, what's that about? I mean, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, but I'm actively listening and observing, but I'm not making faces like I am right now. But I'm just suggesting that when somebody is trying to trigger you, and they start saying things out loud. It's one thing to internally have some trigger points within a person's body, but it's another thing to say it out loud and project it into life. And, the more that we go into these trigger points, the person who is triggering another is actually triggering themselves. And so this is kind of a twist, because sometimes you're like, you start kind of getting into a trigger point when somebody triggers you. And the best thing that I do, everybody has a different way of looking at it. I just go still, quiet, move into my body. How's everything feeling? I feel fine. I'm just kind of curious what's happening. And then I might work into color if it goes a little bit deeper with somebody triggering you. But I really think, and it's kind of funny because I've been kind of processing what happens when a trigger happens, and what are the ramifications, and why is that occurring at that time. So again, when somebody is triggering you and they're saying it out loud verbally to you, it means that it's kind of like a prayer or a blessing. You could even say internally it could be a prayer or a blessing or a curse, right? Related to being triggering another person. But the moment that you start really saying things out loud to another person, let's just say it's me that is just watching the trigger a person, and then I'm just aware, and it doesn't go anywhere else. Because if a person is affronting somebody else and trying to trigger them, the person has a choice. Well, I could say this, and this, or or I just could just be like, for me now, I just go, okay. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It's like, okay, or I could say, thanks for sharing. That's it. And then sometimes that works. And then you may have to go a little bit deeper again with what we call a pivot with triggering another person. And I think the best that we can do is, if a person is feeling triggered within themselves, and then you're just like the bystander, you're just kind of witnessing a person process out what they want to get rid of. And apparently they think it might be another person, a thing, it could be the weather, it could be the air. But that's when we start noticing some of these three steps, especially with the water, drinking more water, getting more sustenance through that life force energy. We're all like, light beings. And then moving into vitamin D, or, the sun energy, or maybe the moon energy. All these things are just like, it's like pounding out all this juicy, juicy stuff. And then the third one is the stinker. Some person wants to trigger you, and you're just, you're like, it's kind of like, in my mind, when that happens to me, I don't really have any comment or anything. I'm just trying to wonder what's wrong, what's happening for that person. I mean, and so that's why I don't really engage too much. I just go, well, thanks for sharing, or okay, and then that just, it kind of stops right there. But some of these trigger points with, the energies right now are like super juicy, super big, 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 big. Freaking big energies. And then you're just like, uh-oh, we got a stinker in the field. And when we start working with that, we just notice that when a person is, again, I'm going to repeat this again, because I'm kind of reinforcing my own self to just be quiet when somebody is attempting to trigger me. And then I'm just like going, okay, what color is it? Is it magenta? It could be magenta. It could be an ivory color. It could be any kind of color. I just focus on that. I focus on my inward, with my body, with my heart space, with my pulse, feeling into anything in my body that's showing up that's kind of feeling a little bit tense. I don't have any of that. I've been doing this for a number of years. But this third point with a person that is triggering somebody else, it's really about them. And so we don't want to get too engaged with their conversation, only because they're saying it out loud. And that's kind of, like I said, that prayer or blessing. And the more that they continue to do that, the more that you can continue to just be an observer. Sometimes it looks like you're the bad one. But then sometimes you're just like going, well, thanks for sharing, or I always just usually say okay. And that's probably the best that I can do. But we really know that there's a lot of people right now that have so many trigger points. Oh God, I used to be like that, like completely. And now I've decided that I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to drink all my water during the day. I want to get out and do some walking and be out in nature, be out in the sun and see all the cool cats and all the dogs down the street. And then, moving into a curiosity, what if something amazing could happen through a triggering event, and noticing that it went pretty well, it went pretty well, that like maybe I was the bystander and I'm just like going, well, I think I'm doing good. I think I'm doing really, really good. So these are my three top hacks, for today. Drink more water, get some sunshine or moonshine, moonshine, and then take a look at the moments where you feel that somebody is triggering you. And then you can make your own choice on how you'll respond. And maybe it could be real quiet. So, we'll see you soon. Have a great day and namaste.